want you to picture something. You've saved for 35 years and you've got over $1 million in your IRA. You retire and you think everything is going to be great. Your taxes will be lower because you're not working anymore. And then you hit RMD age and suddenly your income doubles. You're paying more in taxes in retirement than you ever did when you were working. Up to 85% of your Social Security becomes taxable, and your Medicare premiums jump because your income crossed a threshold you didn't even know exists. This is the reality for millions of retirees in America, and most of them never see it coming. My name is Danny Gudorf, a financial planner and owner of Gudorf Financial Group, a retirement planning firm that helps people over 50 reduce taxes and invest smarter. Today, I'm going to show you exactly why this happens and 3 steps to execute the strategy that could save you hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of your retirement. This video is for anyone approaching retirement who has most of their savings in traditional IRAs or 401ks. If that's you, stick around. Quick note before we dive in, this is for educational purposes only and is not personal advice. You should seek your own tax or financial planner to help you for your unique situation. Let me start with something that surprises most people. The biggest threat to your retirement income isn't a market crash. It's not inflation, it's the tax you're going to pay over the course of your retirement. Here's what I mean. Most people spend their working years putting money into their tax-deferred retirement accounts. It makes sense, right? You get a tax break today and the money grows without being taxed. Sounds like a win. But here's what nobody tells you. You didn't avoid those taxes, you just postponed them. And when you start pulling money out, every single dollar becomes taxable income. Now, in retirement, you add in Social Security, maybe a pension, and depending upon your other income, up to 85% of your Social Security benefits can be taxed. Then there's Medicare. If your income crosses a certain threshold, you pay higher premiums through something called IRMA surcharges. And it gets worse. Once you hit your early to mid-70s, the IRS forces you to start taking required minimum distributions. You don't get to choose the amount. They tell you what to withdraw and when those RMDs need to come out. And your RMDs grow every single year because the factor is based upon your age. So what looks like a comfortable retirement on paper quickly turns into a tax problem. Not because you did anything wrong, but because the system is designed this way. Let me show you what this looks like in real numbers. I worked with a couple recently. I'll call them Dave and Patricia. They were both in their mid-60s with about $1.3 million in their traditional IRAs. They had Social Security coming in, a small pension, and a comfortable lifestyle. They assumed they would just take distributions as needed and then let the rest grow tax-deferred as long as possible. Sound familiar, right? Yeah. Well, we mapped out what could happen under the current law over their lifetimes. They would take roughly $3.4 million in required minimum distributions, and they would recognize about $2.2 million in taxable income from other sources. And when they passed, their kids would inherit an IRA large enough to trigger an estimated $890,000 in taxes. Total family taxes, when you add everything together, roughly $2.3 million in taxes, all under today's tax code. No rate increases assumed. Now, here's where it gets interesting. There's a strategy that can dramatically reduce that number, and it doesn't require predicting the future or hoping tax rates stay lower. Most people think of taxes like a straight line. Withdraw this much, pay this much, and repeat it. But real taxes don't work that way. They behave more like a snowball. RMDs get bigger, income stacks higher, and Social Security gets taxed more. And maybe your Medicare premiums increase as well. And what if a spouse passes away and tax brackets compress down to the single filing brackets? Each piece hits the next. The only way to break that chain is to take control before it starts. The strategy is called Roth conversions, and here's what makes it different from almost every other approach. Tax rates don't even have to rise for it to work well. When you convert money from your traditional IRA to your Roth, you pay taxes on that amount today. And once it's in the Roth, it grows tax-free. You also have no required minimum distributions with Roths. No income tax on withdrawals, and when your kids inherit it, they don't face the same tax burden. Let me go back to Dave and Patricia. Instead of staying in a low tax bracket because it felt comfortable, they made a different choice. They decided to move into higher tax brackets now, strategically, while they still had control over their income. They executed a disciplined multi-year Roth conversion strategy. What was the result? They avoided approximately $1.8 million in lifetime and inherited taxes. The same laws, same rates, just a different approach. They weren't trying to predict what Congress would do. They were removing their dependence on it. So how do you actually go about doing this? Let me give you 3 steps that you can start thinking about today. First, understand your current tax brackets. Not just this year, but what will they be over the next 20 years? What happens when Social Security kicks in? What happens when RMDs start? What happens if your spouse passes away first and you live another 10 or 12 years? Most people have never seen a tax projection like this, but this is the foundation of everything else. Here's something you can do today. Pull up your last tax return and note your current bracket. Then ask yourself, what happens if RMDs add another $50,000 or $60,000 more to that number? Second, identify your conversion window. For many people, the years between when they retire and age 73 or 75 are those golden gap years. Your income might be lower and you have more control over how you withdraw your funds. This is often the best time to convert strategically. The goal isn't to convert everything at once. It's to fill up those lower tax brackets each year without pushing yourself into higher ones unnecessarily. Third, we need to coordinate other income sources. Social Security timing matters. Pension decisions matter. Even the order you withdraw from different accounts matters as well. At our firm, we use a 37-point tax return analysis to find opportunities most people miss. We look at everything from your provisional income from Social Security, from calculations to IRMA, and even how your state income taxes affect it. This isn't theory. Over the past 15 years, we've helped clients across all 4 stages of retirement wealth, from people stretching to make their savings last to families with more than enough who want to leave a meaningful legacy. What we found is that families who take action early, who don't wait until RMDs force their hand, they're the ones who come out ahead. Not because they predicted the future, but because they stopped depending on it. If you want help trying to figure this out and see what this looks like for your situation, we offer a free retirement assessment. No pressure, no obligation, just a chance to see where you stand and what options might be available to you. Click the link below in the description to get started. You've just seen how a $1.3 million IRA can trigger $2.3 million in lifetime taxes and how to avoid it. But before you start converting, there's a calculation most people skip entirely. Get it wrong, and you could pay more in taxes, not less. Click the video right here where we go through where most people get the Roth and traditional IRA math wrong to learn the one number that determines whether Roth conversions make sense or if they'll hurt you.